Well, you can say I started off the day in a little bit of a pickle. Definitely got stuck in the sand. I've dug it out all from there to here already. Just got the last little bit to go. Hopefully get it out. Got dug out around the tires. Big old trench dug out through here. Whew. Hopefully get this thing out. Still not quite. I made it from there to here now. So close. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, we did it! Woo! Whew. Now that we're out of that mess of being stuck in the sand, I want to take the time to share with you guys today that after 4 years of paddling on the water and looking back over my time, there's definitely one purchase that I made when I first started paddleboarding that I definitely deeply regret making. But before we talk about what the item was, I'm gonna head on out to go practice some pivot turns in the water to go get better at those. Then we'll get back on the beach and we'll talk about what the item was. Whew, definitely a little tricky out there in today's conditions, but hey, practice makes perfect. All right, but now let's talk about what I regret purchasing when I first started paddleboarding. And that item is, dun 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 dun, a cheap paddle. In all honesty, when I first started paddleboarding, I knew very little about the sport and even the equipment used to do the sport. So when I went out to purchase my first paddleboard and paddle, I was more stoked about finding a cool paddleboard to purchase and then just trying to find the cheapest paddle I could to go along with it. I didn't know at the time, but purchasing a cheap paddle up front was a very unwise decision to make, and here are some reasons why. So the first not so great thing about cheap paddles like this one off of Amazon is that they're very heavy. Their shafts are usually made out of aluminum and their blades are usually out of nylon plastic. Both these materials are not very light, causing you to have to carry a heavier paddle in your hand, which causes you to be more tired on the water while you're paddling. The second thing that's not so great about these cheaper paddles is because they're made out of lower grade material and there's not a lot of time that was put into the design of the paddle, you get a lot of movement, a lot of wiggle around any joints. So for like a 3-piece paddle like this one, you get movement around where the shaft connects together or where the shaft meets the blade, you get a lot of wobble there as well. These are both things that you do not want to have in your paddle because they will affect your experience on the water. Which leads us to our third reason why these paddles are not so great is because they have all this movement and all this wobble in the paddle shaft and blade when you're paddling, you will find it harder to balance and also get more power out of your paddle stroke as you're paddling along. And with those things as well, you will find that you can cause fatigue and harm to your body trying to use this lower grade paddle. And the last reason you don't want to buy a cheap paddle is that they do not last. For example, when I bought my first paddle that was a cheap one that was similar to this one in my hand here, I broke it within the first year. I went out for a paddle one day and the blade literally just broke off from the shaft here while I was paddling along and just sunk down. So I had to swim back to shore with my hands in a prone paddle position because obviously I had no paddle to paddle with. And let's just say I learned my lesson that day. So please do yourself a favor and don't make the same mistake that I made when I first started paddleboarding, and find yourself a quality paddle as soon as possible. A great company that I can recommend and I use daily on my paddles now is a company called Black Project Sup, and they make super high-end quality paddles from a variety of ranges. So no matter who you are or what type of paddleboarding you do, you can find a paddle that's best suited for you. So after many years of paddleboarding on the water now and using higher quality paddles, I have definitely noticed a huge improvement not only in my performance and protecting my body, but also paddles that last for many, many years, making paddles like these a high quality investment. So I hope these few tips and sharing my personal story will help you choose a better paddle up front. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.